resource is a fictional book called ANZAC Biscuits. Our resource is of interest of lower primary students, and we have aimed our resource at Year 1 students. The book's actually about a little girl who bakes some ANZAC biscuits to send to her father, and her father is serving in World War II.
This resource primarily fits into the history strand of the HAS curriculum. As Lexie's already said, we're aiming our resource at lower primary students. This resource covers lots of components of the HAS curriculum and the Year 1 curriculum, including how to present past, present and future in terms of time, as well as dates and changes that may have personal significance, and the difference and similarities between daily lives of students today and that of their parents and grandparents, and the differences in family structures of the roles of parents and how it's changed over time. Who we are and what our ancestors did has played an important part on our individual history and that of our country. Through the HAS curriculum, students explore their own identity, Australia's heritage and cultural diversity, and Australia's identity as a nation in the world. They examine the significance of traditions and shared values within society. Ultimately, why the country is the way it is today is because of what the ANZACs did all those years ago. There are many reasons why we chose this resource. Throughout this, we discovered that it fits not only into the HAS curriculum but also into lots of other learning areas. And it also covers lots of cross-curricular priorities. ANZAC Day is a major event across Australia, and we feel that it's important for children to understand its significance. I feel it's important for children to understand ANZAC Day in a way that is suitable for them. This book is a perfect example of that. It explores many perspectives, and it also teaches children about empathy and the significance of ANZAC Day and many historical perspectives associated with it. A large part of our personal pedagogies for our students' learning is a social and interactive environment by creating interactive and hands-on activities such as finding out interesting family facts that relate to the significant Australian historical events and sharing them. It's important for children to learn to pose problems and ask questions about history in the classroom. An example of this could be asking our grandparents what they did when they were children and comparing that to what we do today. Another way could be getting students into groups and getting them to compare what they discovered about what their grandparents did when they were kids and comparing that to what they do today. This resource eventuates in many multicultural connections. Through using this resource, there is great opportunity to incorporate cross-curricular priorities in the classroom by researching Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people's involvement in the ANZAC history. As this is aimed at Year 1 students, research will need to be supported and often scaffolded. To keep with the story of ANZAC Biscuits, as a teacher, I would brainstorm with the students about a letter that we could possibly send to a family member away at war. What questions would I ask them about life at home? What other information would I include? This is an example of sharing stories about the past and present, observations and findings using everyday terms to denote the passing of time. Another research opportunity could be to ask their grandparents what they did as children. Did they do chores after school? Did they go to school? This relates to the contents around differences in family structures and roles today and how these have changed or remained the same over time. As a teacher, before undertaking these tasks, I would consider the abilities and interests of the group of students before I plan lessons to make sure I could make them as hands-on and as practical as possible.
So the resource we have chosen, ANZAC Biscuits, gives teachers multiple opportunities to create activities and tasks to cover the formal curriculum descriptors, but we've also identified some hidden curriculum in this resource. So in regards to hidden curriculum, meaning unintended informal lessons taught in the school system, as Australia is a very multicultural country, ANZAC Day might not be of signification to some families. So using this resource, we thought we'd be able to formally teach history, but informally teach students the significance of such a large Australian legacy. This resource in particular covers covert messages like empathy, respect and stereotypes, cultural values, hierarchy and conflict, and overt messages, which we've covered in the Year 1 content descriptors. So past and present family life, and the difference and similarities between students' daily lives and lives of their parents and grandparents' childhoods. The mentioned covert messages matter because we believe that they are significant for students to effectively proceed at school, not only in history but in other subjects for social skills in general. So not even only at school but while they're at work or playing sport, in regards to respect and like cultural values. The overt messages matter because they are what students are required to know to be successful academically, to proceed through years in regards to content descriptions. Teachers are required to explicitly teach Year 1s these messages, and this resource is a tool that can be used to do so. When researching, we discovered that there's 9 values of democratic education in Australia. They are caring, compassion, doing your best, fair go, freedom, honesty, trustworthiness, integrity, respect, responsibility, understanding, tolerance and inclusion. We believe that this resource, if used to the best of its ability, can cover all of those 9 components. The actions of the Australian and New Zealand forces during this campaign left a powerful legacy, known as the ANZAC legend. So we think it's really important for children to develop an understanding of such a significant tradition through their resources that are age appropriate. Looking further into this resource, it promotes cultural diversity and Indigenous ways of knowing. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander history and cultures are a cross-curricular priority, and we could certainly explore the notion of Indigenous Australian servicemen. There was quite a lot of discrimination, racism and prejudice before the war, during the war and after the war. It didn't change a lot. So ultimately we can include ethical behaviours, inclusivity, intercultural understanding and conceptualisation as general capabilities and its content. Furthermore, we were able to explore the Indigenous culture, treatment and ways of living now and then. Australia was multicultural back then, and it's multicultural today. Therefore, there will be a chance that one or more children may feel discrimination if their nationality was an axis during the war. For example, if we have a German student, we wouldn't want to discriminate too much against Germany as Australians ourselves. We wouldn't want to be biased and put the race of our students down. In conclusion, as this resource can be used in several different ways, covering several different syllabus and cross-curricular priorities, it provides the opportunity for students to become fully aware and reasonable, and we believe that students will definitely benefit from this resource. The hidden curriculum is simply reflected, and the Year 1 history descriptors are covered in full scope. So we also believe that this resource can certainly cover a lot more than just the history scope. And any questions?